Blessed evening to the many, many listeners of Money and Your Life on ZDK Radio 97.1 FM. This evening, Wednesday, the 28th day of May 2025, is what we call our entrepreneurial show, where we feature one of Antigua's upcoming entrepreneur. So as we start every Wednesday, we do the same this Wednesday, and we go to our scriptures. And we go to scriptures, Proverbs 22:29. And it says, "Do you see someone skilled in their work? They will serve before kings. They will not serve before officials of lower rank." Scripture readings telling us about business and how persons should approach business. And we always let you know the mission of Personal Financial Solutions. The mission of Personal Financial Solutions is to empower every resident and citizen of Antigua and Barbuda with financial knowledge and skills to make informed decisions and achieve their financial goals, thus creating a financially literate and wealthy nation. That's our mission, and we always say we are very grateful and thankful for this platform at Liberty Radio ZDK 97.1 FM to make sure our mission comes alive. You could reach us this evening by calling 462-1100 or sending a WhatsApp at 776-8589. So, this is the last Wednesday of the month, and we promise you every last Wednesday we will speak to an upcoming entrepreneur in Antigua and Barbuda. So we are joined and we are graced with the presence of a female entrepreneur in Antigua and Barbuda. We want to say to the listeners that they can join us during the discussion. So let us move straight into our discussion this evening. And I just want my entrepreneurial guest to introduce herself, to the listeners of Money and Your Life, because believe you me, we have many, many listeners to this program.
A lot of pressure. Good evening, everyone. My name is Kelly Ann Boatswain, and my business is Yes Executive Services. And it's a relatively new business, and the focus of it is really to provide support in business and integrated marketing and communications. I consider myself a very vibrant, forward-thinking individual, and I know that there are a lot of persons who need the support. You might have a little business idea that you want to develop, cultivate, and with my support, I'm able to provide a range of services that can help you to develop your new business or to refine your current business and put you on a path to success.
Okay, well, I am indeed pleased that you're ready and up to the task, because you've already touched some of the areas that I want to ask you, but we are going to in one go, but we're going to elaborate on them so that our listeners can get a full feel of your business. That is a rather unique business indeed. So let me ask you right off the bat, what initially sparked your interest in starting such a business that is unique, that is will be catering for new businesses and for existing businesses?
Okay, so for me, I would have had different jobs in a range of fields, and I thought that for some reason, even though I was very good in terms of my expertise, in terms of me being able to fulfill the different roles, I just did not feel like that was my purpose. I always felt that doing business is a calling for me. I initially had a business before. I started a small business before, um, and I ended up. It was successful, but I had small children, and I was very busy. It was a very hectic time, and I had to. I also had a full-time job, and so went I went straight to do full-time and close the business. But after a while, I'm like, you know what? I have the skills, I have the capacity. A lot of businesses, they need the support, especially micro, small, medium businesses. They need that level of support and expertise. So, one, to answer the question, rounding up, the calling, the knowing that I have the capacity to start the business, grow the business, be successful, as well as to be able to support small businesses in their ventures.
Well, let me say to you and to the listeners that, and you would have heard me say this before here on this program, that after the human being, because we are organism, the second greatest organism created by our creator, the Almighty God, is business. So I am happy that you are seeing that being an entrepreneur is a calling for you, because I say to all of my listeners, without, as I always say, water in my mouth, business as a vehicle provides individual with what they want to do. Provide them with what we call FI, financial independence. So I am happy that you would have gone, you have worked, you have been an entrepreneur, but you have this tug in your belly,
Yes.
that you want to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So let me just continue and ask you this quick question,
Yes.
because you mentioned it, right? And as a female, a young female entrepreneur, have you encountered any unique obstacles or advantages that you want to elaborate upon, that you have to navigate thus far? Because we have many young persons, females, who might be thinking about getting into entrepreneurship and owning their own business.
Yeah, business, being a solo entrepreneur, which is a term now that people use when you're the only person in the business, is very difficult, right? And it comes with a lot of challenges. And being a woman also presents its own challenges. Now, for me, uh, in terms of my education, I have a bachelor's degree in international relations and human resource development, and I also have an MBA in marketing and data analytics. So I would have gone through schooling. I have qualifications in business continuity planning, grant writing, project management for small businesses. But it just seems as if you're a woman, you have to always prove your worth. And I feel like that is one of the challenges that I face, always having to make sure that I am best in what I do, or I can at least be as competitive as the males. And also, apart from just constantly proving myself, I have to balance just being confident in what I can do without being aggressive, right? Because I can be very straightforward with some of the, things that I want, I want to do. And I just have to be careful not to come off too strong, to not seem too masculine, to not seem so aggressive, but to package it nicely with a little bow, but it's the same message. So it's just like crafting and being versatile as a woman. Being a woman is advantageous as well. It's not just a disadvantage. I don't really. Sometimes I see it as an advantage, because I'm able to meet people and connect with them on a softer level as well. So there, on one end, it can be a disadvantage. On another end, you can use it as a positive. Further to that is also, when I spoke about the worth, is that sometimes as a woman, I normally do consultations, and when we're talking about the fees of what a consultancy would be, it's usually like, oh, those fees. But I've been in situations where I've worked with males, and once a man says, well, this is what he wants for the job, it's not really questioned. But when you as a woman say, you know what, this is what it's worth, this is the value that I bring to the organization, and this is what my expectation is in terms of compensation, you normally have to do some revision of the pricing, because it doesn't meet the budget. So those are some of the things that I would say I would struggle with as a woman, and just in business generally.
Mm-hmm. Well, I can see from your discussion, and I know you. I know that you bring to the table, as persons can see, qualifications that can do the work, and qualifications that will demand equal pay.
Yes.
Right. So, and I've worked along with you. I've done work with you, because I have a network of colleagues that we network, and you always provide quality work, and clients will always give high praise to the work. So that is something that within our society that we'll definitely have to work to make sure that there is no bias, because a female does great work, but because it's a female, a male may ask for $10 and the female asks for 10, but they want to cut the female down to $5. So that is something that we here and persons listening know that we will have to correct.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Let me just say also, now that you have said that, before I ask more questions specific to your business, right? What advice, especially for females who are listening to us, what advice, young females, as far as getting into business, right?
Yeah.
What advice, before we start to hit your business directly,
Yeah.
you will say to a young person who might be wondering, battering to say, boy, should I get into this here, because it sounds like it's a man's world.
Yes.
According to the great Jim Brown or James Brown.
Okay. I kind of believe in leaping and the net will appear. Right. I'm that kind of person. Um, I remember when I was going to, I wanted to do my MBA, and I had no money. I applied to UE nonetheless. I was doing my MBA through Kayville, Sagicor, Kayville School of Business and Management, and I had no money, and I signed up anyway because I'm like, I need to do this, and the money came, right? So my thing is, there's not going to be like the perfect time for you to start the business. You just have to leap into it. Take calculated risk, but do not die with your ideas buried within you, right? We're all gifted with different talents and different purposes. I'm a firm believer of that, that you there is just like a divine thing in you that you need to do. Another thing I would say is, if you're like a consultant, when you approach work, you need to try to demonstrate your value early up, right? Demonstrate your value and also prove your expertise in the results. So my approach to work is always to try to deliver something that is of excellence, right? So approach it with a firm, purpose-filled attitude. Don't be fearful. Don't be fearful of failure, because you will fail at times. You will fail, but failure is not unique to one person. Everybody has his or her moment where they fail, right? But failure is supposed to propel you to want to try even harder so that you will be successful. So don't be afraid to fail. Leap into it by taking calculated risks. And also you have to build very strong relationships. So for me, some of the services that I offer, my business offers, I don't necessarily just do it by myself. So I know, like, some persons, they would be like, okay, I want to do I want to focus on this in my business, but in order for me to focus on that, I need to be able to do XYZ. If you don't have the capacity at the moment to do XYZ, it's important that you network with someone who can bring that value, and so you have that partnership that you can fulfill that demand in the market. Market research too, just having a broader understanding of what is needed, where are the gaps in the market that I need to plug with my business, if there's a niche area that I need to look into, because not because not because you love your idea for your business means it will be successful. You have to watch the market, and you have to see how your business solves a particular need in the market. Another thing too, your business idea doesn't need to be all fancy and executive sounding, and it doesn't have to be a posh thing. Is it profitable? Can it be profitable? Because when we go into business, we don't go into business for charity. We go into business to make a profit. So is it profitable? So if it means you're buying bread from Brownies and you're reselling bun and cheese, bread and cheese, and people are buying it, that's a business idea that it can be sustainable. So even if you have a small idea, even if you think that, just watch the market and see if it's something that you can be successful in.
Well, indeed, young persons, middle-aged persons, old persons, or mature persons, because most persons don't like to be called old. They can learn from what you just said there. And what I want to add to is that if you are thinking of getting into business, most persons fail to get into business because they go through what is called the analysis paralysis. They overanalyze, they analyze, and don't move. As you just said, they should go and take that plunge and move.
Yes.
What I want to ask you is for you to give the name of your business again, because we dealt with some different things before. Because look, I am going up front because you're female, and look, my mother was a female entrepreneur, raised 7 children, right? So I want to make sure people understand you and support your business.
Thank you.
What's the name of your business?
So my name, the name of the business is called Yes, YES Executive Services. And the reason why I chose Yes, when I was in school doing my first degree, it is in international relations. So there's a book called Getting to Yes, which it talks about negotiating and getting to a successful position. And I just figured that what, yeah, that's hot. That's a good name. I like the vibe, and people respond to it. So I said, let me just use that.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. What they give the listeners, before I ask you the other question, the number, the contact details of your business, because they're listening. They want to write, they want to research. After that, we're going to get into the services you offer. So what is the contact details where persons can reach Yes Executive Services?
Okay. So you can contact me at 464-1774. 464-1774. You can also contact me via email at consult@yeseservices.com. consult@yeseservices.com. And you can check me out on my website at www.yeseservices.com.
Well, I'm going to ask you to repeat those again before the end of the program. So before we move to our break, because time moves so fast here, I want you now to take your time and describe the services your business offer.
Okay. As I said, my background is multidisciplinary, a range of expertise that I would have accumulated over the past 20 years. So we offer, I should say we, because I collaborate with other persons as well.
Indeed.
So we offer business planning and strategy. So if you want like a strategic business plan, I could, and this is an organization, but I also do business plan for individuals. I will come into your organization. I would do interviews who I need to interview. I would look at any gaps that you have in the organization, and I will give you recommendations to see how you can approach these things. If you have areas that are successful, how you can further develop those. And if you have areas that are lacking, do you cut or do you put more resources in them? I also do market research and analysis. If you want to do like a survey, the other day I did a survey for an engineering company, and I did I also do like did the analysis. So I did the survey, I did the analysis of the data, and I also do the presentation of the data, the visualization of the data. I also do marketing, PR, and communication. So communications is broad. So I have a background in media. That's where I really started out. And I, do digital marketing, online marketing. I do communications, PR. So if you have a crisis, I can write, something in the, media to manage the crisis. Communications, I do PR work. I do, if you have an organization that you want to do some internal messaging to your staff, your teams, and stuff like that, we provide that service as well. Project management. So if you're a small business and you need to define what your project is, the project scope, and all the elements within a project. We offer that service as well. And then the last thing that we offer, but I'm sure I offer other things. This is
the core. This is the core we're talking about.
So writing and documentation. So if, for example, you wanted to do like a technical book, like I do technical writing. So the other day I did a manual, a training manual. I can do training manual, writing of SOPs, which are standard operating procedures for your organization, handbooks, employee handbooks. It's a lot of stuff. Just let me know what you need, and it's a service that I can offer.
Because you're saying when persons call you,
yes,
your response will be yes.
Yes.
Right? Because what you're saying here this evening to our listeners is that you offer core services to business. So basically anything a business wants,
yes,
they can reach out to you.
Yes.
And you have a network of individuals. Because I'm saying that, Personal Financial Solutions Anthony Stewart is also in that network.
Yes.
That network of individuals that you collaborate with to provide the quality service to the clients.
Yes.
Right? So you get a good feel of the type of services offered by Yes Executive Services. So and then every week I appeal to my listeners to reach out to these young entrepreneurs. As I said the last time, that many times young people do all type of things. We had some young people that look in the paper, right? They say one in some place, some with drugs, and so forth. And those are the headlines. But when we have young individuals, young females, moving, shaking, getting business, creating employment for others, then we don't hear the drums being beaten for them. But we hear at Money and Your Life, we are beating the drums for these young people who are doing good and great things in Antigua Barbuda. But we don't only want to beat the drums, we want to ensure that you give them that support. So if you have a business out there and you need any type of support, you're asking yourself certain questions that you don't know, reach out to Yes Executive Services, because what Ms. Kellyanne just said is that the business is so well-rounded that they will be able to solve your problem. I remember while we were coming here, you even indicated that when it comes to making sure updating job descriptions,
yes,
there's so many things, but we will discuss these other things after we take our station break and we continue with our young entrepreneur for this evening, the manager and owner and the chief executive of Yes Executive Services. We take our station break now.
Looking for expert financial guidance?
Well, that's Ruby and Mafu, who always asks us to love ourselves. And I want individuals to show love and support Yes Executive Services. And I want to say to my listeners that the voice that you've been hearing from since February the 12th, because this installment is our 16th installment of Money and Your Life. So that voice promoting personal financial solutions, and the voice also promoted our workshop on pension and retirement, is the voice of the Chief Executive Officer of Yes Executive Services. And as she said, she's also into media. So that is a clipping, the voice that you hear on the commercial for personal financial solutions. So is that part of your service package too? Because I say you couldn't even remember some.
Yes, that's a part of the services I offer. As I said, I worked in media for a few years, and I worked as a journalist at one point, and then I worked as a producer as well, both in a producer in radio, and I worked as a journalist writing for the Observer radio and newspaper years ago. So I do.
So basically, you're saying to the public, that is part of the package.
Yeah, if you need me to voice, if you need, apparently you like my voice, you think my voice is very good. So
many of the listeners also say that.
Yes, so I am open to fielding requests for voiceovers if you need, and I do the production as well. So I did the voicing of the ad, and I also did the production in terms of putting the music, the underlay and everything. So that's the service I'm definitely willing to offer.
Indeed. So let me ask you now, Kellyanne, let me ask you, you are providing this suite of services to businesses, new businesses, startup businesses, existing businesses, long businesses that have been out there for a very long time.
Yes.
Right? Very unique business indeed. But maybe there are one or two competitors out there. How would you say that you differentiate yourself from the competition? So you may have business owners listening now, young entrepreneurs listening now, and may say, look, I need to talk to Miss Kellyanne Boatswain to get a feel of certain things for my business.
Yes.
But somebody else down the road calling me. How would you say your business differentiates itself from other businesses?
Okay. Competition is inevitable, right? You have to have competition, and I feel like the more competition I have, or the more competition someone has, then I feel it's more drive to come the best. For me, my competition, what differentiates my business, and even just the style and the approach that I take to business, I would say I offer a tailored approach, insightful approach. So when I meet you, I try to understand where you are and what your needs are. And we also try to establish the deliverables and what the results are that would make my service successful to you, or even worth your time. So I'm able to track, I provide a way that you can track that, right? In terms of, just the wide network that I have, I work with persons in HR, I work with persons in finance, I work with persons in communications. So we offer that tailored, comprehensive approach, which we already mentioned. But I approach business like that because there are so many problems that you need to solve when you're in business, right? There's some problems. You have inefficiencies, right? Some companies, well, I had a large company in Antigua that hired me to come in and help them with that, and so I was able to do it. In terms of marketing, sometimes you have a company that their branding is poorly positioned. So you want to do what I call, or what other persons call, like an audit of their brand, to see where they are, if they're really connecting with their clients. So what differentiates me is that the work seems a lot more personal to me, because I want to see you be successful, right? Your success is my success. I'm a very hard worker. I'm a very committed individual, and I like to do my work with excellence. So if you work with me, you will say that the work that Kellyanne does is good work, right? It's good work, and I feel like that to me is always the my approach to making sure that I do quality work. And the clients that I have are a lot of repeat clients. So once I do something for them today, they want me to do something else, and we just have this ongoing relationship. So off the bat, I try to establish worth and build that relationship, so I always get a call back to come in and do some kind of consultancy with the companies.
So basically, your defining line or your differentiating line is one of excellence.
Excellence, yeah.
You strive to make sure that the work that you're doing is of such that the business owner will want to call you back and make sure that the services that you offer to them is repeated.
Yes.
So we are saying to you out there that yes, executive services is a business that you should reach out to, as long as you have any inkling, anything that is going on in your business that is not running right, that is not feeling right, be it marketing, be it human resource, be it you want some research done, you want to test the market, you want to launch a new product, you want to see what's going on, you have right here in Antigua and Barbuda a business that can do that for you. Right? You want to be a little bit more out there in social media. You have expertise that can push your business and push your business forward. So let me ask you another question, Ms. Boatswain of Yes Executive Services. Now, I know you have just started this business because you had a business before, you folded up, you went back to be an employee. Now you are full-time entrepreneur pushing your business. So, looking down the road, right, 2 years, 3 years, what would you say is the aim, the milestones that you want to achieve, some of the things that you're pushing for, to say, well, look, after a year, 2 years, I want to, executive services to be.
Okay. So I have cultivated well, a mindset that business development is continuous. It's always something new to do. It's always a new request. The market changes. You have to adapt, be flexible to the demands of if it's a consultancy or a project. So my thing is to always evolve with the growing needs. In the next, I have a vision board, and the vision board, I put things that I want to achieve in my personal life, things that what I want to achieve for my family, and things that I want to achieve for my business. For my business, I want to make sure I have a sound, solid, revolving clientele. I want to make sure that there is not any period that I am not busy, like because sometimes you have a project and it's maybe a 6 months or a 3 months, but when you finish that, is a little lot, and then you have to go again. I want to be able to be properly schedule jobs across the year. My vision is very small because someone told me that you have 3 days. You have yesterday, you have today, and you have tomorrow. And if you focus so much on yesterday's past and mistakes, you're gonna be depressed. If you worry about tomorrow with everything, you're gonna be too anxious. You're gonna have anxiety. So what you have to do is focus on the present. And so every day, I focus as much as possible on the present and what's in front of me. And then I also, when I have more time, I make sure, okay, I'm putting a little bit of things in place for tomorrow. But generally, my business is, it's young, it's fresh, it's new, it's a challenge, but it is so fulfilling to do something for myself because I work for corporations, in Antigua, and I've given my best. I've done good work, and I've grown, I've learned, and I'm thinking, why I can do something for myself too. So I finally got the courage to make that decision to just leap, so everything comes together. So my thing about planning, yes, I'm planning and I want to be at a certain level, but I also want to make sure that the business keep churning as I develop.
Okay, yeah. Great. Let me just pivot back to some of the services that you offer,
yes,
because we may have some persons joining us late, and we would have gone through those services.
Yes.
Maybe one of the services that you didn't zone in on that I know about, and maybe a lot of persons who are just looking now, maybe that young female, that young male, that middle-aged person say, look, I am going to take that movement now and become an entrepreneur, right? To start a business, you will need a business plan.
Yes.
Right? You can't get into business without having a plan. Some persons have the plan in just in their head, and then the head start to hurt them, and then they close down the business, right? So you need a roadmap.
Yes.
And let the public know, first of all, your business structure, and the type and whether you offer this type of service, preparation of business plans, because that is a service that is really needed in Antigua and Barbuda.
Yes. So again, I do business planning and strategy. That's a core function that I offer. I do business plan in terms of I do the research, the market research for you, and I do the writing of the document, the presentation of the document. So if you have a startup, it's a new business, we do business planning for that. If you have a business already but you want to expand and you want to boost the services that you offer and also look at additional revenue streams, we also provide a business plan for that. And if you have a business that is investor ready, you want to you want to provide a document to show investors that this business is viable, we can provide a document for that. We also would, after discussion and consultation with the client, we can do the, as simple as it might sound, we do your mission statement, your vision. We look at your financial plan in terms of your projections, as I said, the revenue streams. We look at how this business can be profitable. Well, no, if after we look at the business and it's not going to generate, there's some businesses you can tell the market is oversaturated, we will advise you, okay, well, this business might not be viable. But if you were to look at a niche area, maybe in the same industry, maybe look at a niche area, maybe that could be successful. So we provide some level of guidance and support as well. So business planning is critical. As Stuart said, you need a roadmap to how you're going to, and especially if you're in a business that you sell goods, right? Your revenue streams and services too. So it's not just goods, but services too. You want to make sure that you're not underpricing. You have to set your prices at a certain level so you can make enough profit, but you're not outpricing yourself in the market. If it's an item or a good that you're selling, that you're not, you make provisions for, if you have to import, if you have to, the cost of doing business, the operations, you make provisions for that. And then we can look at, okay, well, my revenue needs to be this because my operation cost is this, and so in the end I can make this amount of profit. So it's it's a lot of different aspects that you have to look at, but it needs to come under one umbrella that can give you like a roadmap to successful business.
So basically what you're saying to potential entrepreneurs out there, existing business owners, and let me deal with the potential entrepreneurs first. You and your business, yes, executive services, can hold that person hand from the inception, from the idea, right, from the business idea, and move that idea onto a business plan.
Yes.
And help that individual to, if they need funding, because most banks will ask for funding, to provide that business plan, so that business plan will now get oxygen.
Yes.
In terms of capital, in terms of
yeah.
funding. And when that business now is on the road now, like existing businesses, you're able now to provide them with these type of services
yeah.
to ensure that that business stays on that road to prosperity.
Yes, and business takes a lot of discipline, and the client has to be disciplined. So if you want to be successful, you have to have some level of discipline, and it's not going to be easy. I can speak for myself as a mother. having a business. And you know, when I had the first business, it was taxing. I would go to work from 8 to 4:30 and pick up the children, and then I go to my business from 5 to 8 in the evenings. And I would do that, and then on Saturday I'm at the business from 10 to 6. So, and and having two small children, having a full-time job, um, having a partner, it can be a lot. It can be very difficult, and especially for women, you have a lot of your brain is always on. Is always on. It doesn't shut up. It doesn't compartmentalize as the opposite sex. um, so you're always thinking about, sometimes you're up in the middle of the night thinking about your children have to be doing this, but then you have a client that with a deadline tomorrow, and it's not easy, especially as I said, as a mom, but it takes sacrifice. It takes you having support in terms of partnership, like maybe a partner or friends, or just family that can really support you. Even if they're not helping you with the business, they can help you with the children, or with any chores or anything else that you have to do. So it, it, it it's a lot of work. It takes discipline, but yes, we will help you to navigate the course from your starting to when we get it on paper. And even if you need our support after that, we'll provide support.
And basically, I want you to give your business details again, your contact information, and so forth. Because what I'm hearing from you here this evening is that your business will, more or less based on how you operate, you may have to be going to the other businesses
Yes.
to do a lot of your work. You
Yes.
come back, you do what you have to do at your place,
Yes.
but then you will be in constant contact with the business
yes.
that you're working
Yes.
you're working on.
Yes.
Right? So basically, yes, executive services will find you, will come to you, will service you.
Yes.
Right? So time is winding down, and I see the next person to come in is close by, so I can't even get my 2-3 minutes as usual tonight. So over the time. So I want you to give your contact details again to our listeners, because I'm saying to the listeners of this program that when we have young persons putting their feet forward to start businesses, we must give the support. We must give the support. We always beat and cry down when persons don't do good things. When we have people in our society doing good things, give the support. I have to say thank you to many persons that have given me support over the years in my business. We have a brand new business starting up, right? With a person that is well educated, with a person that is well qualified to serve you. Give the support. So now, tell them about your business, your business contact, so that they'll be able to reach you.
Thank you, Stuart. So my name is Kelly Ann Boatswain. I can be contacted by phone at 464-1774. That's 464-1774. Or you can contact me via email at consult@yeseservices.com. That's consult@yeseservices.com. And you can check out my website at www.yeseservices.com. That's www.yeseservices.com.
Do you have a Facebook?
I don't have a Facebook
Okay.
like yet, but I need some more content. I'm trying to generate content, and then I can. But for my first business, I had Facebook, and I got a lot of business from Facebook.
Well, I will say to you, make sure you put yes, executive services, get your Facebook page so that you can get persons contacting you, because there is where most people live now.
That's it.
So we are winding up now. It's exactly 8. So I want to say thank you to Miss Kellyanne Boatswain, the Chief Executive Officer of Yes Executive Services. We want to end our program by saying that this is our 16th installment, and we are here, Personal Financial Solutions and Anthony Stewart, to promote healthy, happy, and wealthy lives in Antigua, Barbuda. We have to end with our scripture reading, because I believe it's so powerful after we listen to the young lady this evening. And our scripture reading is taken from Proverbs 22, verse 29. And it reads from the New International Version, "Do you see someone skilled in their work?" And I will answer and say, yes, Miss Kellyanne Boatswain. "They will serve before kings. They will not serve before officials of low rank." And when I interpret that, it means that you will serve many customers and you will serve them well. We want to say thank you to Yes Executive Services and Miss Kellyanne Boatswain for being with us on Money on Your Life this Wednesday, the 28th day of May, 2025, sorry. as we say thank you, and as we say good night, and once again say that we at Personal Financial Solutions, we want to ensure that you in Radio Land and in social media land, live happy, healthy, and wealthy lives. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Them a free out, teacher sign me and me gone now. Everybody know about Sean now. So when bad mind a try stop me.